it's Paula with Hillbilly Orchids. I wanted to let y'all know that my channel is sponsored by the Orchid Supply Store. It's your one-stop shop for everything you could possibly need for orchids from A to Z. They even sell live orchid plants. Use my name, Hillbilly, for a 12% discount. If you need anything, this is their contact information. Please try to get a hold of them, and Ken is a really great man. He will get back to you with any questions that you may possibly have. Also, you get for any $35 minimum purchase, you get a free gift. So go check them out, y'all. The Orchid Supply Store. Really great shop. Hey y'all, it's Paula with Hillbilly Orchids. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about fertilizer again. Yay! I use the Jack's 2-part system fertilizer, and I have been using that for quite some time now, and I find it just absolutely invaluable. Since Rick L showed me how to use it and taught me how to use it several years ago, I have never looked back. Now, the only thing with the 2-part system is the Jack's A and B is that when the temperatures change, you have to start backing off of the calcium nitrate. Because, you know, the temperatures are cooling, the plants are not going to use them as much. They're still going to need them, but they're not going to need the highest dosages that, you know, we've been giving them all summer long. So basically, my mixes have been about a total of everything that I put in them. They've been like around 130 to 150 parts per million. Well, that's not bad, and that's only, like, the highest I've went with the calcium nitrate has been like 85 parts per million. It seemed like I had issues anytime I went higher. I did try it a few times, and I wound up with some issues, and I would back it off and things would level out and straighten up. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to stick with 85 parts per million. You know, my plants seem to be doing just fine at that rate, and I keep the feed kind of low. That way I don't have to constantly be flushing, because when you keep your feed low enough, you don't have to flush all the time. So your plants are using it instead of it building up in your pots. So that's why I kind of like to feed low. Of course, and that was something that Rick always said to me. He's like, you know, whenever it rained outside, he just loved it because he would go outside and just feed, because the rain was flushing through for him anyways. He would feed higher. But he said whenever the drought, you know, whenever things would really drought off and they wouldn't get much rain, he really cut back to only like 125 parts per million for his total feed, because the orchids were using it more, and he said that I'm physically having to flush them. So when you cut them back, the salt don't build up. In other words, they're using what you're giving them. So, and then basically too, you cut back on your sea kelp, because that's usually best used for in the warmer weathers. You don't really use it during the winter, because, you know, it works better in warmer temperatures, and so much, like I said, so much slows down with them. Orchids almost kind of go into a dormancy type thing over the winter, sort of. You know, they do have growths that will grow, and things like that. And I mean, as long as they are growing and putting out new growths, I mean, feed them, because, you know, that new growth is going to take a lot of that calcium nitrate in order to grow. It's going to need that calcium to grow, so just make sure you're feeding them enough. You know, all, I've told you guys that 100 times, all orchids are calcium hogs. Absolutely 100% calcium hogs. So it's not like you can't ever give them enough calcium. So but just make sure that, you know, even though they're growing slower, if they've got a new growth, feed them. Make sure you're feeding them. And if you have to, then you flush them. But basically, like I said, I wanted to talk to you guys because now is the time. My calcium nitrate has been like 80 parts per million. I've been backing it down. My range I want to get to, which I'm not there yet, is 45 parts per million. Now, I'm not there quite yet. I'm still, probably by the end of this month, I'll have it back down. Basically, what I do is try to like back it down 15 points backwards each time. So I kept backing it off towards the end of summer, like when things was starting to slow down and when fall was really starting to come along and starting to change. So now, like I said, by the end of October, in this feed here, the calcium nitrate will definitely be at about 45 parts per million. So I'm going to show you with this one here, my big garbage can, my 32-gallon garbage can full of water. I'm going to show you, we're starting out with a big whopping 1 part per million, which is beautiful. That is perfect. Perfect. And we're going to try to get this, I'm at about, right now with this, I'm at about 60, 55, 60 parts per million. That's why I said by the end of this month, I should be able to drop it down to 45 and shouldn't have an issue at all. So what I'm going to do is going to grab my, hang tight, let me get my calcium nitrate measured up, and I'll show you before we dump it in. But hang tight, I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and I'm going to try to hold this. I hope I don't bounce you guys around too much and whatnot. But this is the calcium nitrate, and I'll show you. It is it's small little balls of goodness. So what I do is I turn on my my little scales, and we put the cup on there to get its measure, and then we tear it out, so we get rid of it. Remove the cup, and we're at about 7.12, and I'm going to add to it till we get to 10. I'm going to try 10 and see what that puts us at. Like I said, right now it's kind of I have to kind of guesstimate close enough because you know, I'm lowering it, so alright, right there it says 10, so we'll go exactly with 10, and we'll go back over and we'll put it in the water, we'll mix it up and see what happens, see what number we get. So hang tight and we'll be right back. Alright, I went ahead and dumped the big one in of the calcium nitrate, but this had the little bits in it, so let's get that stirred up, and I will be right back and give you a reading of what it says. Alright, y'all, we are back, and we've stirred and stirred and stirred. I didn't want you to have to sit through, you know, giving it time to mix up and stir. So 10 grams of calcium nitrate in 32 gallons of water. We have now came up with 52 parts per million, and we'll take that. That's really close enough. So now we need to just add enough of the Jack's part. Let's see, which one's part A is the 5-12-26, and part B is the 5. Because it's always confusing. I always think the calcium nitrate should be part A, but it's not. It's the part B. So we're going to do part A now, the 5-12-26. And like I said, we're going to add enough. Normally I add 12 grams is what I normally add. So I'm gonna go with 5 grams. so give me 1 second. I'm going to do the same thing. I can show you once again. This is what the part B, the part A of Jack's, part A. That's what part A looks like, 5, 12, 26. Looks like sand. And I'm doing the scales the same way. I did it the same way. I measured it out, and that's what 5 grams in measured out is, and we're going to go ahead and put it in the mix. So, and like I said, I'll let you guys go again real quick while I stir it up, and we'll give it a chance to dissolve, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we are back. I have let this, it takes a little bit longer sometimes when the temperatures have cooled down for stuff to melt. So I want to make sure, you know, we get a good reading. That's my plan anyway. I just almost bet that it's not enough. But let's see what we got. Yep, so we only got 81 parts per million total, and that's not enough. So hang tight again and let me grab about 5. So that would be about what I was putting in there to begin with. That's about 81, and I want to get it a little higher, so we're going to do another 5 grams. See where that puts us. See, it's a little bit of a, you know, till I get it figured out exactly. You know, once I get it down, you know, even to lower calcium nitrate, then I'll be able to really, you know, figure out my numbers and everything. So once again, I know you don't want to just sit and watch me stir it up and stuff, but we're going to stir it and leave it set and let it dissolve, and we'll come back and check our numbers again. Alright you guys, we are back, and I tell you, it's been a little tedious, but like I said, when you're changing up, you know, it is a little tedious once you get your mixture figured out. But once I get it down, you know, to where I need it to be, I'll know exactly measurement-wise what to put in here, so it's not as difficult. Just whenever when you're either increasing or decreasing your amounts, it's easier to go a little bit at a time so that you don't make that much of a mistake. See, like ours now, the water is at 122.21 parts per million. So I'm leaving it at that. I'm not going to get it up to 125. It's going to stay at 121, and that's good enough, close enough. So that is going to be the mixture, and that's what I'm going to use. I've also started watering differently. I've been doing the pour through method instead of the soak method, because as well, like I said, at nighttime I've been dropping the temperatures in my grow space. So, and that's a whole nother video though, but basically that's how I'm going to do my fertilizer now. It's just getting decreased over this next month, so that we're down to where I'm only using 45 parts per million of the calcium nitrate. So like I said, that's really necessity, because if you it winds up, because of the heat, not having enough heat, and for the plant to use the calcium nitrate, it'll wind up being detrimental for your plant. So you don't want to do it. You don't want to overload it like that. It will not be good for your plant. So that's why we're decreasing it. So, but that is going to be my mix for this coming week. And then, like I said, next week it'll have it down to where I'll just basically use the 45 parts per million of the calcium nitrate, and then add the 5, 12, 26 up until it hits 125 parts per million. And that will be my mix from here on out through the winter till springtime hits. And then I'll start slowly increasing it probably around April, May-ish. I'll probably start increasing. So we'll have another video then of showing you how I'm going to increase it. So, but that's going to be my my fertilizer video for this week. And I appreciate all you beautiful people stopping by and hanging out with me. And bye for now, y'all, till we meet again.